Hello. This feels a bit weird. So why am I a Buddhist? So I start by giving a little bit of context about my early years and childhood. So I grew up in London. My parents are both Irish. They moved to London in their 20s. And I'm one of three siblings, so I'm a middle child. So yeah, I grew up in London. I spent a lot of my childhood in Ireland, so I would go over. So I have a big extended family. My dad is one of seven, so I have like 20 cousins. So spending time in Ireland, I would go over there for the summers and for holiday periods, and yeah, I have loads of really, really fond memories of being in Ireland. It definitely has shaped my life. So yeah, where my dad's from is in Kerry's. There's like really luscious greenscapes. There's like loads of mountains, loads of lakes. So it's really, really beautiful landscape. And yeah, a lot of my memories are from my grandma's house there. So she used to run a B&B, like a bed and breakfast. So she kind of has a bungalow, and it's like kind of snakes around like this. And I just remember kind of spending loads of time there, just playing, like having just a lot of fun with cousins and kind of messing around. And actually, a lot of like my childhood memories are from from this place, from this time. But I obviously I didn't live there, so I grew up in London. So I think. And I had kind of different cultural references to my cousins, and we had a different accent. So I'd spend the summer in Ireland and come home, come back to London, go to school in September, and like be speaking with an Irish accent. And my friends would be like, "What?" And then like a few weeks later, I'd like go back into a London accent. So I think this. Yeah, having these kind of two bases as home growing up. I guess made me question like where I fit in, or where is my place? Yeah. So yeah, fast forward like quite a few years, and I went to art school, dropped out. I went to and ended up studying international relations in Bristol. I moved back to London after that. And yeah, I guess was a bit confused about what I wanted from life. I had a lot of like motivation and strong desires to kind of about social injustice, and really wanted to make like a positive contribution to the world, but was a bit, I guess, directionless. I was working like different jobs and just quite, a bit scattered, but had like a strong desire to do something good, but didn't really know where to direct that energy. And then, so around this time, I met somebody who had a really huge impact on kind of my life and the direction that it would take. And yeah, she was someone who I really, really admired. She really knew herself very well, and ultimately she really inspired me to kind of try and do the same. She was someone who had known suffering really, really intimately in a way that I didn't. But she had kind of transmuted this suffering into like such vibrant joy. She was someone who had like life pulsating through her, and I was really, really attracted to this, like really, really drawn to that energy. We ended up falling in love and having a very simple relationship, actually, a really like very beautiful but simple relationship. It was quite a lot to do with what Amelie Yoden you were talking about the other day, but we kind of built the foundations of our relationship was on like loving each other unconditionally. That was kind of the bedrock of what we spoke about, and how we kind of wanted to relate to one another, and how we wanted to love, and loving without attachment. And a big part of that was being in an open relationship, so kind of welcoming seeing your partner with somebody else and practicing detachment in that way. Ultimately, when in reality, when she fell in love with somebody else and it was put into practice, I was just totally overwhelmed by pain. I wasn't able to love unconditionally. That wasn't something that I was able to do. And I think Amala Yodin, in your talk, you were talking about having a secure attachment to yourself and kind of solid and stable and robust friendships. And that was something. I had really good friends, but I wasn't relating to them in a robust way. So that was something that I didn't have. So I was left with not only the loss of a relationship, but also the loss of myself. I didn't really know how to interact with the world after that. I had kind of created an identity around somebody else, or around the idea of loving somebody else. Without a strong sense of self, or a strong friendships. From here, I kind of had a strong sense that the most important thing, or actually the only thing, was to to learn more about myself, or get to know myself more intimately. So it was about a year after this that I started coming to the Buddhist Center. I was working at Wellcome Collection at the time, which Bryn was working at. There was an exhibition on tranquility, and there was this Buddhist painting, which was depicting the moment the Buddha reached enlightenment, and he was reaching his hand down to the earth, and Mara, the demon, was the final test for Mara. It was a really beautiful Tibetan painting. I was really drawn to it, and I was my job was to research the content of the exhibitions and take people around and talk to them about the paintings or objects. And I really wanted to talk about this painting, so I was kind of doing some research online, and there was all these big concepts like enlightenment, and it was kind of there was a lot of stuff online. I didn't really understand what it meant or who to believe. And at this time, I had received an email from the Buddhist Center saying, "Come, do a meditation challenge." So I was like, "Okay, I'll kind of learn experientially about how to talk about this painting." So I committed to the meditation challenge, doing it meditating every day for 3 weeks, it was really powerful. So I kind of continued to come along, so I just kept coming to the center, so fast forward to a few months ago. I was living in a warehouse in North London. There was 20 of us. It was a really fun environment. It was very creative in many ways. Very dynamic. The space would change depending on who was there and what was happening, how it was being utilized, and it was a very fun place to live. but I started to, get a sense that it wasn't, living in this environment wasn't really aligning with my values anymore. And yeah, but there was still a part of me that was like quite attached to the idea of living in this way, and somehow it kind of fed into my identity, or was it kind of attached to that? It kind of shored up part of my identity. And then, it was this time I was also doing a course at the Buddhist Center, which Dana Utah was leading, the Journey and the Guide course. And we got to a week on spiritual death, which was like the 5th or 6th week. And it just felt like something shifted inside of me, like we're kind of just really ready to let that part of me like die and open up to something new. And I think that was a really significant moment for me, not necessarily because of like the external like manifestation of that, but I think it was more the kind of internal process and the freedom that I felt from making that decision. I think that's kind of why I'm a Buddhist. I want to continue to learn more about myself more intimately and be able to make decisions that benefit myself and enable me to contribute to the world in a positive way.